Welcome to the Two Cool Parents Podcast with your host, Will and Shay.
Hey, y'all.
What's good?
Our podcast is for the cool but corny in all of us.
CBC.
Like, subscribe, rate, share. Tune in, y'all.
Let's go. Baby Bubby Buggy Buckers.
Hey.
I didn't do it before we started, so I had to do it. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
What's going on, folks?
Y'all miss us?
Hopefully they did.
No, it's been a while.
It's been a while. But welcome back to the Two Cool Parents Podcast with your host, Will and Shay. Hey Shay.
Y'all.
What's going on? Do apologize again, you guys, for not recording like we used to, which was weekly. I mean, a lot has transpired in our lives, and we've
just been chilling.
We kind of just been chilling.
Like, really, we've been like extra chilling.
Let's rephrase that. We are not chilling. Okay, we're not just sitting back, kicking our feet up, laxing with a beat, drinking our hand on the beach.
Okay, no,
we're working. We're like.
Oh yeah, I mean, every day we're busy working on our businesses.
We're, taking care of the kids. We're trying to make sure that, we get things back in order for our home.
Establishing a routine.
Of course, if this is your first time listening, Shay and I were both let go from our jobs back in June of this year. It's been 120 plus days for the both of us, and it's been a really eye-opening journey for both of us in that sense. We've been working on our businesses, mine for the suiting from a previous episode. If you haven't checked it out, William Alexander Clothier, www.WM Clothier, CLOTHEIR.com.
I thought it was IER. CLOTHIER.
IER, you're correct. I'm sorry. CLOTHIER, Clothier.com. I've been booking business. I have a wedding coming up. I have a couple of gentlemen, just a little having tit for tat back and forth with my manufacturer. So we're going back and forth with that. Shay's been working on L Alexandria nonstop. She has been, is in the creative driver's seat for her business.
Oh my goodness, I've learned so much.
She's doing great web designs, great social media presence, taking meetings, taking phone calls with clients. She just booked an author, not for to do a book tour and handle his social media and his website. She has
website. He already has the website.
No website.
Just social media, book tour.
Both social media and book tour. So we're making big moves. It's all about pushing that grind and grinding out and doing what we have to do. Who else you have? You have the florist. You have the senior citizen home. I
just got a bunch of different people,
businesses, right?
Businesses. The goal is really to just, I'm 38 days into this business. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe I'm 40 days into this business.
You're in.
And I'm committed. It's been a steady stream. I can't say it's the, big giant payday that I want.
But it's coming.
But it's been coming. It's been steady. A lot of people have been sent my way by friends and family. I really appreciate it. Just a lot's been going on. I'm still living by the 2190 rule. 21 days to make 21 days for something to become a habit, 90 days to make it a lifestyle. And so I'm, almost to my 40 days of L Alexandria. I basically just started this out of the want and need to do something for myself. As many of you know, I've done wedding plannings, I've done events, I've done PR, but I've never actually put it all together, kind of under my own brand umbrella. Back in July, I merged my event planning business, and I'm now under the With Joy, with two other business partners. And so With Joy Events, it's based out of Voorhees, New Jersey. And so we're working on big things there. So I'm still able to do weddings, events, baby showers, birthdays, those kind of things. But the meat and potatoes, my main love and passion and creativity is design, website design, social media marketing and advertising, and of course print design.
So you're not seeing us post something new and exciting on the Two Cool Parents Instagram or whatnot, and other social medias, or our personal Instagrams and social medias. Understand that we're working
all the time.
So since we last spoke, guys, we've started kindergarten with our daughter.
And how is that coming along?
So we, like many other people around the country, were posting pictures of the first day of school, videos of the first day of school, and our daughter, London, has started kindergarten after 5 long, grueling years of paying for daycare. Thank you, God.
I'm so glad that's over.
So glad it's over.
Christian, now, we're working on you.
Yeah, Christian's next, but now it's a different grind. It's a different hustle, and we say that, like, grind and hustle because, like, you have to now get your mind in as a parent to your child's school and everything. So for those who don't have kids, this might not be for you, but if you're thinking about having kids, you might want to listen in very attentively. So the difference between from daycare to kindergarten now is that London comes home pretty early.
Yeah.
So, daycare was what, 5:30 at the latest we would pick her up. Daycare closes at 6.
Yeah.
She's home now by 3. So those
3:30 if she's on the bus.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, but that's a whole nother 3 hours. You gotta, like, what we gonna do? Like,
we eat dinner really early now.
Right. Dinner,
like 4:00 we're making dinner.
We're eating supper.
We are. Is that supper time?
That's supper time.
What's the difference between supper and dinner?
Well, dinner, like, everyone gets dinner, like, in my own opinion, it's, dark, late, 6, 7 o'clock at night. This is dinner. Supper is like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to take a nap now.
It has. We have had to adjust our schedules because we're up a lot earlier now.
Right.
We're up at 6:30, 6:30.
Right.
Getting them both off. Christian still goes to daycare, but he goes to half day daycare. So he's out at the same time. Makes sense. And so it's a lot easier for us to just, everybody's up early, we start early, we end our day, and then by 5 o'clock we're eating. Sometimes it's 4:30 we're eating, but then 6 o'clock it's time to wind down and get ready for the next day.
But it's been a journey, going through this kindergarten process, and of course, if your child is just starting kindergarten, they've only been in school for like maybe a couple weeks. So don't get on their cases if they're having some type of behavior issue or any of that sort. All the kids are doing it. Just don't think it's your kid. They're all going through it. And you just have to work with them and talk with them. So, in our case, I've been working with London. Every day when I drop her off, I have her quote, good, better, best. Never rest until your good is better and your better is best. And she goes through the notions at school, and I even, had a conversation with her teacher via message, and our school that London attends has an app that they use, and I said, hey, have her quote this if she starts to, get into herself, and it will calm her down. And, the teacher was very happy that I took, an interest into that. And especially as a father, they think that, the dads don't care. It's only about the mother caring. And I really care about my daughter and want her to do well. So, the first couple weeks have been up and down because she's learning new people, different from what she had in, daycare. The time frame she was in there, from the learning that she has to go through. I don't believe they have a nap time. Am I right?
They do. They have a rest period. I wouldn't call it nap.
So they're not like laying down.
So in the afternoon, they just have quiet time. It's 30 minutes.
Okay.
And they can put their head down on their desk or, just be quiet.
Just be quiet. And I think, she's like, learning all that. So it's been a learning process. And if your child is just starting elementary school, kindergarten, work with them, talk with them, understand them. Fathers who are there and mothers who are there, please, please, please enthrall yourself into your child's education and child's life while they're in school. Just don't have them come home and sit there and, you know, especially in the kindergarten, they're not doing any homework. You know, there needs to be some type of continuing learning when they come home. So when London comes home, I do like a little music lesson with her. So we bought her an alarm clock with a radio, so she can get up.
I don't know if it's a music lesson or if it's just...
It's like a music lesson because I want her to learn, you know, some... I know that she has, like, you know, her days when she learns music, but, you know, she really didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of music like how you and I kind of grew up in a house full of music like that. You know, now and today we put our AirPods, our earbuds, or whatever, you know, on in your ears so you can tune out the world. And I want her to learn how to, like, when she comes home, mommy and daddy are still doing stuff, but I kind of challenge her and say, hey, listen to some music, tell me what you think of it, you know, tell me about a song you heard or something like that. And we have these conversations, you know, privately when her and I are just sitting downstairs, and she's like, I heard this one song and it sounded really cool and I liked it, and, you know, stuff like that. But I think she's just getting a chance to explore certain things when it comes to that, just, you know, in the sense of sonics and sound and music and stuff like that. And I kind of want to try to unlock a passion for her, if possible, through me teaching her or showing her the way through there, or she can find her own after school type thing that she wants to do. What do you think, Shay?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's...
Shay's like typing and I haven't learned.
I am. I think it's important for her to figure this out. You know, she's learning rules of, you know, social norms. And so it's a lot to take in. You know, she told me the other day, she was like, we can't talk in the hallways. And I'm like, of course. But I realized that she's never experienced that before. So when they're going between, like, on their way to the cafeteria, they're not supposed to talk.
Right.
In line.
Because they disturb other classes or something
exactly.
like that.
And so, you know, she's doing things on her own, like going to, you know, she gets her lunch from the lunch lady, and things like that. So it's a different experience for her. I hope she's learning, you know, tools for success. London, my cousin told me the other day, she was like, London is a boss. And I was like, she is, but she's got to learn how to lead in order to be a leader.
You're right.
And so learning how to follow.
Learn how to follow.
Be a leader. She has to learn how to follow. You have to follow directions. Even leaders have to follow directions. Excuse me. And so, you know, through this learning process, and it's been draining on us too, because there's a lot of frustrations, you know, with what we expect from her. And part of it is our own, I guess it's been a long time since we've been in school, and so we've forgotten some of the things that you have to learn each time you go. She's a freshman, you know, and so it'll take a few weeks to really get down to schedule, and as we adjust our schedules. Last week was the first full week of school?
Yeah, the first official full week of school.
So I think as we are getting into a routine, she'll end up developing into a routine, and it'll be smoother process for everybody, including us.
Right. So again, like if you're just starting off with your child in kindergarten, even first grade, it's still fairly new to them. You know, just understand that you have to build this routine, build with them, continue growing, continue pushing them in a positive way. And, you know, ask them after school what made them smile today, what was creative for them. Just don't say, hey, how was your day at school? You know, those are just generic questions because you're not going to open them up to do anything. So every day, you know, when we pick her up, or, you know, before she was taking the bus, but she can no longer ride the bus right now because she's a kindergartner. Not saying that she can't because of her grade. It's just the fact that she needs to learn some things first. So we are, you know, literally taking her to school, picking her up from school. But, you know, that pickup time is the perfect time for us to have a conversation. What made you smile today? What did you do creative today? Who did you create with? You know, those opening questions where she's just talking and getting all out. And, you know, some days you're like, oh gosh, what kind of worms did it just open up? But it's good because that lets her know that I care about her school and her studies and stuff like that. So as a parent,
and we do, together,
we
make a unified front to make sure, like we'll say, you know, he follows up with the teacher. Will actually drops her off every morning, and I think that's really important, that she has that time to bond with her dad. I'm dropping Christian off or getting him ready and then dropping him off just a little bit afterwards, because she's got to be at school a little bit early. But I do think that there's, there's just, I guess it's just the familiarity. We're learning her version of things, and she's learning her own version of how to be a big kid at school.
Yeah, so it's a learning process. So if your son and your daughter, grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew are going through this change from preschool to kindergarten to almost first grade, work with them, talk with them, understand.
Absolutely.
It's been a long time since you were in school, so things have slightly changed a little bit. But have that conversation with the teacher, understand, attend back to school nights as much as possible. I understand a lot of us don't have the schedules that will allow us to do those things, but try to follow up with the teacher. Take part in your child's education in their life, especially today, and ensure yourself. Because London actually told us that they practice a shooting drill at school.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Like day 4,
right?
That's what they did.
Like the first couple of days of school, they're practicing an active shooter scenario.
And it's really scary for a parent because we hadn't even begun those conversations with her.
Right.
But I'm also kind of glad that the school does take a proactive approach, and it's kind of like, parents, this is what it is because this is the reality of schools right now.
Yeah.
And so just having those conversations, like Will said, making sure that we're talking to London about different things, about her body, about what things she should be keeping to herself, being kind to others, expressing self-control, getting your emotions under control, those kind of things to help her win.
Right.
Ultimately we want her to be successful.
Mm-hmm. And being not just successful, but also being an example to other kids, whether they like her or not. And I told her, don't let those other kids get you in trouble. We all heard that as kids growing up, so that's something that we're just gonna keep passing down. And I told her, don't, if someone else is talking to you, don't shh them or whatever. Just turn your head the other way. If that means you're not being a nice person that day, guess what? As long as you didn't get in trouble,
right?
Okay, so that's all that matters. But it's just amazing now that she's in school and watching her flourish. She's learning, it's everything's just so brand new to her. Like Shay said, it's going to turn into a routine within the first 90 days. So, we're going to wait to see what's going to happen by Thanksgiving, and she'll be ready. She'll be done. That's London in school.
Yep.
That's London in school in a nutshell. See what else happened in the beginning of this month. 2K came out. What's up, fellas? And shouts out to the ladies who play. 2K came out.
Ladies play 2K?
Oh hell yeah!
They have a lady that you can.
They don't have
a lady avatar.
NBA 2K does not have the WNBA compared to NBA Live. Mm-hmm. But a lot if they are true gamers and want to ball with them, with a game that has its own esports league sponsored by the National Basketball Association, they're playing 2K. 2K dropped. Shouts out to all the people who've been grinding out. You've been, just recently, actually, about last week, a couple days ago, that 2K had an issue going on when people's players are getting deleted. They're not earning their VC, the training's not giving them their badges, stuff like that. Trust me, it happened to me. My face was gone, my name was gone. I was like, yo, what happened? And then in my frustration, I spent another $50 on VC. So, I'm a 90 now, so I've been grinding out in some spare time that I've been having. But again, 2K's out, so ladies, understand, if you haven't bought 2K for your man yet, please
plug.
Please do, because if you want to keep him happy and keep him in the house, there you go. but don't let him get consumed, fellas. Don't get overly consumed in 2K. Sometimes you gotta step away from the sticks, go spend time with your wife, your family, and everything. I remember when 2K was doing the 2K League qualifiers last season, and dudes were posting on Twitter talking about my wife and I getting into arguments about this and this and that. I was like, y'all just gotta have a conversation with your wife. Like, I had a conversation with Shay. I was like, I'm gonna do this for shit and giggles. and let's see if I could actually make it. And I made it actually to pretty far in the qualifier. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to really fulfill this. This is kind of boring to me a little bit now because you're sitting there playing. But it was pretty cool just watching those cats who actually got drafted and played and stuff like that. But for me, this is recreational sometimes. It's just a decompression.
Yeah, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
And that Will has his own time and space to decompress.
Yeah, not just decompress, but it's actually fun. Like, a lot of cool guys I met online gaming. I haven't seen some of their face. I've never seen any of their faces unless their avatar or a picture on their gamer tag is them. But, you just know them by their voice. Like, I got this one dude in Houston, Mars, who, we'll ball up a couple times. Got a couple dudes in Miami who we talked to. One dude in Miami's brother is in Hawaii, so we gotta wait another whole 7 hours sometimes just to wait for him to get on to play. But it's cool, it's fun. It's don't get weirded out, ladies, if your spouse or your mate or anything is playing video games, especially something like this. It's video game season. Madden came out, Live came out, Red Redemption 2 is coming out. So many. It's that time of year when it's about to get cold, and to keep yourself warm, video games. So NHL games coming out. You got new Halo, I think, is coming out, or new Destiny's coming out. So basically video games drop really heavy around this time of year because it's the holiday season coming up soon. The kids are gonna want it, so just understand this is where those video games are. So that's my piece about the video games. Anything you want to add, Shay?
Nope, you covered it.
Cool. Shay comes down sometimes and watches me. London wants to play with me so bad. She's like, Daddy, can I play with you? I'm like, no, not right now. Not right now.
Christian just gets on there and pushes buttons.
Christian just pushes the buttons. Almost one time I turned my game off. I was almost like, London actually turned my game off. This was back on, Xbox One when it first dropped. Was it Xbox One? Yeah, Xbox One when it first dropped back in 2014. And I'm like up like 10 points in the fourth quarter against somebody playing on like the hardest level. And she pushes the button. And I said, no. I was like young and irate and mad. And
he was. And I think we've all been through that. It's almost the equivalent for those who don't play video games. It's like when you're in the middle of working on something and somebody just hits the power button. And you're like, did it save?
No, not that. Did it save if the power went out in the building? Like, did that save? Did it have on autosave? And then come back and then it's not there. So, yeah. But so that happened. What else happened? Apple did a keynote about the new iPhone XS. Woo! And the iPhone XS Max, or we just call it iPhone Max.
Yeah, because who has to say? It's actually called 10S Max.
I just call it X Max.
Yeah.
I just call it iPhone Max.
The original name of it is the iPhone 10.
Oh, well,
but they use the Roman numeral X.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be 10S Max. But that is a really hard word to say.
Yeah, 10S Max.
We've been calling it
the iPhone Max.
The iPhone X Max, or
I just call it iPhone Max. iPhone Max.
Which is the plus version.
Right. So they did the keynote. They talked about the new Apple Watch Series 4, Watch OS, the new iPhone, the iPhone XR, what's the iOS system. Let's see here. What else did they talk about? I forget what else they talked about. But basically, in September, new Apple products come out, and we're not sponsored by Apple, but we have all Apple products just about. MacBooks, iPhones, Apple Watches, and just recently, AirPods. So, I'm not trying to say we're trying to go full Apple, but I mean, hey, look, everything in my house likes the fact I have Apple. So does my car. So it's just, if you're big into technology, that's, the new stuff that's out. And of course, all the Android users are going to say, no. But, I believe
nobody likes that operating system. I'm so sorry. I tried it for... How long did that last? 3 months?
3.5 months.
And then I literally just threw the phone at the man and was like, please get me back to Apple. It is so, foreign. It's confusing.
The funny thing is, I asked Shay to come over from her previous carrier to my carrier so we could do a family line. And I said, you're going to come over and you're going to get this phone right here. Why? Because I have an Android. you'll have an Android.
We tried.
And she tried it. And I was like, oh, this phone's cool. What are you talking about? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, da, 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 da. And she's like, look, I don't like it, da, 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 whatever. So,
like, I kept losing stuff. So, like, seriously, I always say this. iPhone is for dummies. Like, it is so simple, their operating system.
So, but here's the crazy part. So, the day I converted from Android, let me tell you how far back with Android I go. I go back after leaving BlackBerry.
To what? Skittles Bubblegum 1?
I know.
Because you know Android
I don't remember the
ice cream.
I don't remember the operating system. But I went from BlackBerry 8900 BBM to become a beta tester for the Samsung Vibrant. If anyone remembers the Vibrant.
I don't even know what that is.
If anyone remembers the Samsung Vibrant, that was a beta test phone. Real talk. No front-facing camera. It conked out on you like from time to time. It was right before the Galaxy lines released. That's how far back I went. Then I got the Galaxy 2. Then I got the Galaxy 3. I went Galaxy 2, Galaxy 4. And then I think, what was the last one I did was like a 5 or a 6 or something like that. And then, I went to the Notes. I started doing the Notes. I had like a Note 3 or Note 4 before. No, Note 3 or Note 2. One of the two. Before I took Shay back to our carrier. She gave the dude the phone.
Literally, I threw it out.
And then the dude was like, well,
this.
we have the iPhone 6s. And I was like, all right, I'll try iPhone since you did Android.
He been hooked ever since.
Lo and behold.
He got the phone and was like, oh shit, this is fun.
I said, yo, my car likes this? And then I'm like, everyone was like, oh, you got blue messages now. I was like,
yes.
Blue messages.
So it was like a welcome to the club.
I was like, this is what it's like?
So I've had iPhone since iPhone 4. I'll never forget, I went across the street to, after I did all my research, I looked up different iPhones. This was right after iPhone switched from the round styles on the iPhone 1 and 3 and went to that boxy 4. If you remember, it was the smaller version of this, but like a thicker side.
Yeah, iPhone 4.
I had
4S,
the iPhone 4.
5S were like that weird small.
Yeah, it was really
version.
small. It was like a 4.5 screen.
Yeah.
It only had 4 rows, so you could only put 4 rows of buttons. The 5th row hadn't even come out yet. Mm-hmm. And I had Verizon. I went and I got rid of my T-Mobile because y'all know them people be stalking people on T-Mobiles. So I got rid of my T-Mobile line. I got a Verizon line. And I got rid of Verizon because it didn't work underground. So then I switched to AT&T. Now I'm on T-Mobile.
Thanks you for saying the carrier that we're on.
It's T-Mobile.
I wanted the people to know what carrier we're on. That means they're like, let's go hack their joint. Come on,
ain't nobody gonna hack our phones.
Oh Lord, see. Shay just be giving all the information.
Anyway.
Too much information. I kept saying our carrier. She goes, well, now it was on here. It was on here. Now we on here. Thanks, Shay. Thank you. Thank you for, just putting it all out there.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
I like being on T-Mobile. I think it's a great network.
It's like my longest relationship I ever had.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. I've been with them since 2006.
Really?
2006.
Huh.
Since the Razor.
Wow. Listen, kids will never know. Kids will never know
what it meant if you were to hit it's the message.
I had a Mickey Mouse plate cover for my Nokia, that skinny Nokia phone that you could have the different interchangeable face plates.
Yeah.
I had a red Mickey Mouse one.
I had before my Samsung, I was on Singular, which was AT&T at one point. I had a Nokia.
What happened to them?
Singular bought AT&T, then AT&T bought out Singular.
Wait, what?
Singular Wireless bought AT&T Wireless, and AT&T bought out Singular. So yeah, but Singular.
What is left now? I don't even know what companies.
Verizon.
I know it's Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile,
AT&T, T-Mobile, the big 4. But each one has like a subsidiary underneath it.
Yeah.
So T-Mobile,
like a Boost.
T-Mobile it has Metro. Sprint has
Metro PCS.
Yeah. Sprint has Boost. Comcast, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
Comcast does have one now.
Comcast has one now, but I believe from what I was told, they run off of Verizon towers.
I can see that.
But they're not a subsidiary of Verizon. They have their own. They're trying to build their own towers, I think. But Verizon's
Or do they use the cable lines?
So I think Cricket is underneath someone, and so is
I forgot about
the other ones. Yeah, there's Cricket, then there's Total Wireless, something like that. But yeah. So again, back to the original point at hand. The keynote came out. Apple has new stuff out. If you are fortunate to go get it. If you were some of the ones on the 21st to go to the Apple Store to go buy it, hey, you did your thing. If you're some of the people who are waiting for their phones to come in the mail, guess what? It will be here soon. So yeah, that's that. Also on the 21st of September,
Cricket is under AT&T.
Cricket's AT&T?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else?
What was the other one?
Total Wireless, I think it is. Like Walmart's version. As Shay clacks through her phone.
It's owned by America Mobile, which also operates TracFone. Verizon.
There you go.
So TracFone, America Mobile. If it's under MVNO, it's got a bunch of like weird subsidiaries in like other countries.
Oh, okay, cool. And then we're still waiting to hear about T-Mobile and Sprint buying each other or whatever.
I mean, I thought it went through. They're just waiting for the FCC to figure out if it's a conglomerate and what's going to happen with it.
Right. Yeah, so we'll wait to see what happens with that.
I know a lot of people who are like loyal Sprint customers though.
Oh yeah,
they love Sprint.
They've been with Sprint.
They've been Sprint for like.
They've been Sprint since the Nextel stayed chirping.
Listen, the only time I went to Sprint was for Nextel, and then I quickly got off. It was terrible.
Where you at? You remember the Boost commercial with Nextel? Like,
I do.
Where you at? I'm in the car with Fabulous.
The only reason why I went to Sprint was to get a Nextel. And I had it for 2 years in college, and that was it.
I wanted a Nextel so bad.
Once it faded, it was
back
like,
in high school.
Whatever.
Like, I wanted a Nextel so bad. I remember they had the Nextel, I think I remember what it was, but it was the little one with the copper front on it that had the display. And I was like, yo, that's the coolest phone. Like, I forget, someone had it in college or in school, whatever. Then they came up with the Nextel with the speaker on the front, or you could play a little music on there. Man. And then I took a dive back into some old music, if you want to call it old. I was listening to One More Drink by Ludacris, and he said, we're going to take a bunch of drunk pictures on the camera phone. I said, camera phone? Camera phone.
Back when cameras had like a phone.
It was a camera phone. That was what it was. Like, it reminds me of a story when like Shay and I had just like moved into our second apartment or something like that, and my mom had just got on Apple, and
that was hilarious.
And we had an iPad, and we FaceTime my mom. I said, "Mom, hang up. I'm gonna call you back, but we're gonna do it. It's gonna be called FaceTime." She's like, "Oh, all right. Let's see what this thing is. All right, cool, whatever." So we call her back, and she's like, "Oh wow, this thing! Oh my god, I didn't know it could work like that." And she go down and call my dad Butch. And my dad's nickname is Butch. Butch. They on the face phone. They on the face phone, and I never I never let her down for that. Like, Mom, what's it called again? It's FaceTime. No, it's face phone. It's the face phone. But
the first camera phone came out in the year 2000. Can we just pause for that? It's only been 18 years since we've had
18 years since we had camera phone. Well, do you have a picture of it?
Yeah.
I remember this kid in high school. This was 2003. He walked in with this.
It was a Nokia, by the way. Came out with the first camera phone.
Wow.
So whether you had like the long, sleek Nokia, or if you had the flip Nokia,
this joint, we should take a. We're gonna post a picture of this. Remember to post a picture of this.
Will.
It is a long. It looks like the house phone with a camera on the back.
But I will say this though about like old school camera phones. They held a good battery.
They did, but then the other. Oh, here goes that other. the other Sprint phone that everyone had.
The little skinny one?
No, it's this one. It's the flip phone where it had the camera on the
Oh,
front,
yeah.
and you can close it, and you could take the first selfies back in the day.
I think Crystal had this one.
Yo, I remember. Here's a crazy part, and this.
Do you remember the Verizon chocolate with the music?
Oh, they did the mint chocolate. It was raspberry chocolate.
Raspberry chocolate, mint chocolate.
Those were the ugliest phones ever. Because I think like the thing swiveled up or slid
I actually
down.
had this phone right here. This was like one of my first phones.
Yeah, yo, this is how far
I bought myself.
This was this? Oh my gosh!
That had to be like 2000, 2001.
Right, no, this kid back to the story. He came into class with the camera phone, with a phone that had the piece that connected to the bottom. That was the camera.
Oh snap!
So
yes.
like he plugged it in at the
I
bottom,
remember.
and you could rotate the camera and rotate it back.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, yo, he was like the coolest kid for like 2 days.
Yes, let me see if they still have that.
Oh man, that was
the original camera phone.
And then I remember I had this singular wireless old phone. Like this time, let me tell you how about this phone. This is back in the day. We could literally take your SIM card out of any phone.
Yo, Sims.
You could take your SIM card out of any phone.
I think I still got a T-Mobile SIM card upstairs somewhere.
Throw that away. But back now
I could probably put that in my new one.
No, you can't.
This is a different card.
The old cards back in the day, they weren't. You could take a Verizon. I believe you could take like an old Verizon phone, even if on T-Mobile, put a T-Mobile SIM card into the Verizon phone, it'll still work.
Only if it had a SIM card slot, because some Verizon phones did not have SIM cards.
Only if it had a SIM card slot. But now
Sprint did.
Yeah,
you could go from T-Mobile to Sprint.
You can take your SIM card out, put it into a new phone, boom, boom, boom. Now you can't even do that.
I know. They be like, what kind of SIM? What SIM card? It's built into the phone. You can't even take it out.
Except for now with the new Apple iPhone Max and iPhone XS, where it has dual SIM technology, so you get 2 SIM cards.
Will on his geek shit.
Sorry, excuse me, I just burped. Had pot stickers. It was really good.
But no, that was like the height of 2000s.
Man,
was
time I got one for you. Do you remember on the Nokias, the Snake, whatever? You can go to like the websites and find the ringtone, and you can key in the ringtone.
Yes. Callback tones, like that whole process was right up there with MySpace.
There was nothing like when you were like a young kid setting your voicemail to a song and like, yo, you just reached Will. I am busy right now. I'll talk to you later. Peace. or the infamous, hello? Yo, what's up?
I hated those.
Yo, for real. Yo, guess what? This is my voicemail. Leave me a voice message. I'll talk to you back later.
Listen, my mama cursed me out for sending a voicemail like that. Barbara was like, you had me talking for 5 minutes before I realized that it wasn't you on the other end. If you don't get this voicemail off, and then she hung up and called me back just to tell me that she left a voicemail.
Yo, my dad did the same. Like he was like, "Yo, change your damn voicemail. Don't be doing that mess."
So mad.
Oh man, but that was the joint back in the day. And
when I had a ringback tone, my mom was. I had "Superstitious" by Stevie Wonder. My mom was like, "Well, how long was it gonna play?"
No, ringback tones were like $1.85 a month.
They were expensive.
Oh, and shouts out to having like your top faves. My faves back on.
Oh, the Fave 5. You were in my Fave 5. Yeah. That's why I had T-Mobile.
My faves, you could talk to them day and night, unlimited. And shouts out to everyone.
When you had
nights and weekends, baby.
Yeah.
Call me at 9. Call me at 9:05
p.m.
Call me at 9:05. Why 9:05? Just in case these minutes be taking forever to kick in. Call me at 9:05. And them joints ended at what? 12 o'clock in the morning.
Do they still have like packages like that?
I don't believe so. I've been unlimited since since I can remember.
Unlimited everything.
This is unlimited data, unlimited text messages, unlimited voice.
Like when people are like, I only got a few amount of minutes. I'm like, what minutes do you? Where are you getting your minutes from?
So I was
Did you buy a car with minutes on them? Is that what you do now?
I was on my New York-ish like way back. It was like 07. Yeah, 07. I had my Razor, And I was like, yo, I need this T-Mobile wing. If you remember the Pocket PCs,
oh yeah,
the Pocket PCs was it like
I had
originally
one.
There was a Palm Pilot.
I had a Palm Pilot,
But the Palm Pilot then
I never knew how to
evolved
work.
to the Pocket PC. The Pocket PC was like basically
a computer in
your pocket. It had Windows, everything on there.
Yeah, do people still have the little thing on they put on their side?
People still do the holsters.
Yes, the
But
phone holsters.
The phone holsters
that you could turn to the side.
So let me tell you something about
They
me.
had a swivel.
Oh yes, they still do. People still use them things. They do. So let me tell you about me and my T-Mobile wing, right? So I, that T-Mobile
As
wing.
I googled the T-Mobile wing.
T-Mobile wing was the sexy little. Oh my gosh! Like it had a keyboard on there. I remember typing papers up before class, little paragraphs, going to the computer science joint and printing things out, bringing it back. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my goodness!
Oh, okay. I do remember this phone.
So I remember I had the T-Mobile wing, which.
The fact that you remember this.
Oh no, because literally I remember this phone, so I was like fiending for this phone.
Full keyboard
In the
phone.
like a QWERTY board.
You literally like slide it up.
Like it was like.
Remember when you would type and you would have
I had that phone for that was the longest time I had that phone was 2.5 years. After,
yeah, you had that. You kept a contract for 2 years.
Yeah, you had contract for 2 years.
What?
The contract.
So hyped to like.
You know what the new contract is for phones? You gotta pay the phone off in 2 years. If you don't, you gotta pay us back.
I think they still do.
No. There's no contract. They're like they hold you to the phone. So if you
unless you're in like a jump program, but some people like are still under like 2-year contracts.
I thought they did away
Listen,
with that.
Verizon is still holding people to them 2-year contracts.
Sign here. But no, that T-Mobile wing, right? So I had my Razor and I had my wing. So the Razor, I was like, yo, call me on this number, but text this number. Oh man, I was like, that was the thing back then. I mean, phones then were like $4 a month to pay on the 2-year contract. So my bill was like $125 a month chilling.
Man,
and
my phone bill was always like $80.
So I had those two phones, and I had like the holster. Back to the holster. So I had that wing like situated like almost like a knife in my belt, like the way it was with the holster. So like I would like flick it up, pick it up from the back, and throw it back in the joint. Pick it up, throw it in the back. Like it was like. And someone,
he's literally doing it.
And then someone would call me. I'd be like, "Hello." I'll be on the joint talking.
He had
Razor.
2 phones, one for the plug and one for the hose. One for the love.
One for the plug and one for the hose.
One for the love. Well, this is a parental podcast.
They know we look like back in the day. But yes, that was our technology moment.
Moments in technology history.
Moments in technology history. So
man, Will did take it back. The oldest phone I had was the Sidekick that I remember, the T-Mobile Sidekick.
Yo, I wanted a Sidekick so bad. I remember like Sidekicks, like they were king like up until like 2006. And then he kind of like faded away.
I had the Sidekick slide.
That was the original one.
So it was the one that flicked up on the corner.
You got a picture of it? The when we actually kicked up. Yo, that joint was tough.
Here we go.
And then they try to make a comeback like in 2008. Oh no, was it this one?
Yeah, that's the one I had.
No, it was a purple one that
they did
had.
have a purple one, a black and purple one.
I remember I wanted that one so bad.
Yeah, so I loved my Sidekick.
I couldn't afford it then. It was
Sidekick was so much fun, and I'll never forget when I went to a business meeting. Whipped out my Sidekick, and everybody was like, "What is that?" And I was like, time for me to upgrade to a new phone.
Time for you to get an adult phone.
An adult phone, because clearly nobody at my former establishment had a Sidekick.
They're like, oh.
So I got a BlackBerry after that. Ended up with my BlackBerry, but I love my Sidekick. My Sidekick was probably my best phone.
Man, my wing was my best phone until I lost my pen, and then I started finding pens and started stealing them off of people.
I really did. I thought Sidekick was. It was the best. Like, you could play games, you could listen to music, you could whatever you wanted to do. You could do it with the Sidekick.
Well, which is really funny. Like, we're talking about technology. We went shopping at the big box store for, we shop at BJ's, and we're looking around for Christmas gifts already, and they already have them out. and we find a VTech watch.
Shout out to VTech for like still being around. Like I remember I had a VTech phone.
I had a VTech laptop.
Like many moons ago.
Yes.
And so shout out to them for like slowly still being here.
Oh yeah,
there's 20-30 years later.
Oh yeah, they're just saying, look, if you can't buy your kid the $300 version and you don't want them to break it, buy this $90 version and save yourself the headache.
It's called the Kidsy Zoom smartwatch.
Yes. We're not sponsored by VTech, but I saw it and I was like, there goes London's Christmas gift right there.
And so it is kind of like a digital spark watch, if you could think of like your Apple Watch. Comes in pretty cool, designs. It runs you about $40 on Amazon with frustration-free packaging. I like that.
Amen.
That means the ones that you can get out easily. You don't have to like get your scissors and cut through all of that hard plastic that they put some toys and stuff in. Mm-hmm. It comes in blue and pink or purple. It's like a purplish looking pink. But the best part about this is this one hooks up to, any PC, Mac, whatever you use for your laptop or computer. You can download watch faces, photos, games, videos, whatever you need. And of course, it's a rechargeable battery. So it's pretty dope.
Yep, there goes London's Christmas gift right there.
The other one was it a phone?
It was like a pad. And the pad,
Is that VTech?
VTech too has like, Wi-Fi capability. They can take pictures. They can do videos. They can still learn stuff. They can become their own thing without you having to buy them. And
it is. It's called Kitty Buzz by VTech, and it is a tablet. Mm-hmm. But it looks kind of like a phone. There is what is it? Let's see. It's a 5-inch touchscreen. 180 degree rotating camera, 8 gigabytes memory, and a whole bunch of other stuff that they can use. They can play games, listen to music, of course search the World Wide Web, but they have parental controls, and a bunch of different things.
Yep.
And you can send and receive text messages.
Yep. So yeah, that's gonna be perfect. The kids be tuned into it. Dinner's ready. Come downstairs. Let's go. So that's good, and there goes London's Christmas gift.
Yeah, because we're not ready to invest in hundreds of thousands of dollars. She's already broken a tablet or two.
Yes, like I got her a tablet and she broke it. So no more of our grown folk tablets. So
exactly.
There's that.
We now no longer have a house tablet.
Nope, we're not going to get one until she gets older.
Actually, I kind of feel like the tablet is obsolete.
Nah.
I mean, I think it's good for like mobile purposes. Like when you're doing your business, I think it's perfect for you.
Yeah, and it depends on the type of background you're doing. Like if you're into art or you're doing some type of web design, it's great. Yeah. It's great for that. I was looking at that yesterday, or the 2 nights ago, talking about like the iPad Pro, with the Smart Pen.
Now, if you're talking about the Pro version, yeah.
I was thinking like,
but we just had like a little mini.
Yeah, I was thinking, me and Shay and I definitely need like a Pro. She could probably get the 12-inch, I get the 10-inch, and we'd be good.
We could just share one because it'll literally sit around the house.
Right. Or that. So, that's
once you hook it up to the POS system as you're ringing out people.
Right. So, yeah. So, that again, that happened. Apple iPhones dropped. Oh, side note, on one more thing on the tech piece. The Apple Watch OS has this new thing called walkie-talkie, which is...
Will loves walkie. It's the simple things.
It's the simple things, because now she doesn't have to yell to call me upstairs. She just hit it. But hey, I need you, and I'd be like, "Come in," and just go about my business.
It's the simple things.
It's the simple things in life, and they have now you can do podcasts on your Apple Watch.
You can.
So if you are listening on your phone, you can now listen to us on your Apple Watch.
Your Apple Watch.
Get yourself some AirPods or your Beats Wireless or any Bluetooth speaker that you have, Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headphone, and listen to us on your Apple Watch. Holla. So again on the 21st, what did we celebrate, Shay?
It's our anniversary.
Hey,
anniversary.
We are celebrating 5
Do you
cinco.
know what today is? It's our anniversary. Yeah. Made for you and me.
Oh, so yeah. 5 years. Okay, Shay.
I was into it.
Yeah, I know.
I had my eyes closed and everything.
It's okay.
hold
Stop.
your
Just
little
stop.
hand.
Just let it
It's
go.
our anniversary.
Well, just let it go.
It was our anniversary.
It was 5 years single.
Thank you, babe. We had a down home anniversary. We were working. I was actually visiting a master tailor who doesn't make his own suits but would like to partner with me, and I had to do that early in the morning and came back with. So in your 5th year of marriage, ladies, fellas, listen. Your 5th Pull up
year,
a little closer.
pull up a little closer. Google flowers anniversary meaning, and you'll see each year has a different flower.
I didn't even know this, y'all.
This year's flower is daisies.
I did not know, y'all. Will actually, well, no, it's not actually, but Will surprised me with a little bit of a history lesson.
I did.
For this year's anniversary.
I'm not
because
gonna...
we're used to, the traditional anniversary gifts. Number 5 would be wood.
Right.
But I never thought to look at the flower for each year's anniversary. But here comes Will thinking out of the box.
Yeah, and I was like, Shay will like this. She didn't even see this one coming.
I didn't.
So I got his daisies, and I also got 5 roses for each 5 for the 5 years. This 5th year, going into our 5th year, we are stronger than we ever been. High five. Boom. All that. So it's been year 4 has been a renewing of our minds, renewing of our hearts, renewing of our faith within each other, within our family, within our circumstances. It has brought us together. It's tore us down, but built us up together stronger to go into year 5. And again, everyone who's listening to this, please share with someone. And if you're married, if you're not married, if you're dating, if you're single, understand this. Every day in this relationship, in your relationship with your spouse, your significant other, your boo, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, is a struggle that you have to work through every day. Whether you're in the good or in the bad, you have to work through that. Because once you guys think that it's good, don't get complacent and just sit there basking in the sun. Prepare for the weather to come.
Absolutely.
But you need to do that. And, on our first couple years of marriage, we weren't prepared. We weren't. We got tossed around like there was a strong storm coming through every day, every week, every month, every second. Our relationship was strained. Again, we had just had London. We knew each other from college.
And that was a lot of it. It was
brand new.
Everything was so brand new, and everything kind of hits you at one time.
Right.
A lot of newlyweds go through this, where you get past the infatuation stage. You get past the, okay, I can deal with this person's, idiosyncrasies. But then you get to like
the nitty gritty,
real life, when things start happening and some things are outside of your control, but some things happen because you just don't have the experience to deal with it. So me moving into motherhood and not communicating with Will the way I should have been, and Will not communicating with me the way he should have been, it had us struggling for a long time. And I know a lot of couples get stuck in that phase 3, so to speak, of relationships.
Talk about it. Talk about the 5 phases.
So there are 5 phases of relationships, marriage, commitments, deeper commitments, that you can, kind of go through each stage. Of course, most people know stage 1 is that infatuation stage, the rose-colored glasses. Everything is wonderful. This person is wonderful. It's amazing. You feel good. You feel, quote unquote, euphoric.
It's stage 1, falling in love.
Mm-hmm. And it's, it's categorized by those warm goosebump feelings you have when you meet that person. There's always that, this person is new. I'm learning something new about them. And it's exciting.
So, stage 1 is falling in love. Shay is a better reader than I am. I can read.
I won't read it all.
I read well in my head. I hate reading for the people.
But basically, when we're in love, we dismiss naysayers. When 2 people are under the influence of their love for, or passion, I should say, they basically X out everybody else from their life. They don't want to hear. Yes, They don't want to hear the negative. They don't want to see the negative. They're just in love.
Yeah, fellas, y'all know what it is when y'all like, yo, man, I'm really feeling her. Like, I don't know. I just can't stop thinking about her. Like, you know, I wanna buy her lemon pepper wings and split them with her. You know what I'm saying?
Lemon pepper wings.
I want to take her to a football game. I don't care if she's
teriyaki wings.
I want to play cornhole with her. I want to take her to the bar. I want to take her every place I go and do things with her. You do.
You want to spend a lot of time.
You want to spend a lot of time with that person. That's the falling in love stage.
And then that leads directly to stage 2, which when you become an official couple.
That's
so
right.
You decide to make it exclusive. You cut
off all your other side pieces.
Yep.
You went through, the cuffing season, and cuffing season led you to this number 1 draft pick.
And if you're already married, the first stage is when you get married. Stage 2 is when you start having children.
Correct.
For those who are in this phase, you experience less of the falling head over heels in love. You feel more bonded. You feel warm and cuddly. The sex may not be as wild, but it's satisfying. You feel safe, cared for, cherished, appreciated. And that's why you often, have children during this stage.
Yeah.
It's still a part of the honeymoon phase.
Right.
So to speak. And then you move into stage 3.
So again, for everyone, listening, stage 2, that's when, like, you've been thinking about, I can really see myself settling down with this person. Like, this is who I really want to be with. Like, the baby making starts going into, like, high gear. You didn't even think about it, but, like, here it is. The phone call conversation is different when you find out that she's pregnant and you're about to become a parent. It's like when you're like, oh, hey, guess what? Like, I'm late. Like, late. Like you late. Oh, okay.
I didn't say none of this. I was just like, we having a baby.
Oh, or that, or like, hey, look, I'm pregnant. And you're like, okay. All right, what you need me to do? What can I do? That's when the conversation changes compared to like, oh, so what you gonna do?
Well, some people do say that.
Yeah, some people do say that, like, what you gonna do and what do you need me to do?
Right.
And that's when you, as a person, as an individual, as a man, have stepped up to say, I'm here and I'm going to be here.
And then you move into disillusionment, and that's stage 3.
Side note, before you continue, just say we're reading these 5 phases of love, and they're coming from where?
Men Alive.
menalive.com?
Yep.
Yes. MANLALIVE.com. Menalive.
MEN.
Oh, MEN. Men Alive.
Men Alive.
Men Alive.
Yep.
MENALIVE.com. Or you could just Google 5 phases of love.
So stage 3 is, I think a lot of people get stuck into it.
Read it out first.
I did. I said it's disillusionment.
No, what does it entail?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm setting people up for it. So stage 3, this is the stage that most couples find themselves in once they're married. So once you've gone through...
Or if you're in that committed relationship for over a certain amount of time.
Possibly, yes. But for all intents and purposes, this is where a lot of marriages break down. Mm-hmm. Because this is the part where communication fails. So let me read it for you. This is where a period where things begin to feel bad. It can occur slowly or feel like a switch has flipped and everything goes wrong. Little things begin to bother each other. You feel loss of loved and cared for. You feel trapped and you want to escape. We become more irritable and angry and hurt by each other's actions and ultimately become withdrawn. We may stay busy at work or busy with the family, but dissatisfactions mount. We wonder where the person we once loved has gone. We long for the love we once had, but we don't know where it went or how to get it back. One or the other partner wants out, or sometimes people go on existing together, but not really being or feeling intimate.
Yeah, so and I'll be we're on here, and we always talk about live our truths. So when Shay and I were living in the DC area, we kind of fell into this because, as Shay said, her becoming a mother and, me coming into a new city and wanting to experience things. I really wanted to experience things with Shay, but she didn't want to do the things that we were doing. She really wanted me to be at home. I'm like, well, I didn't want to be at home. I understand I'm a dad, but like we can go do stuff and, let's go do stuff. So I spent a lot of time with my coworkers who became like family friends to me, who to this day still are, and I love them to death. Shouts out to Gab and Lawrence and John and Ant and everyone. So this is who I really hung out with. This is my group. This is my core. But guess what? The majority of them were single. And I was hanging out with my single friends. And we talked about this, a couple weeks ago when we had the Denis, how would you say they're plural?
Denis. The Denis couple.
The Denis couple. Okay.
Or Greg and
Jade. Greg and Jade. And we talked about, when we had an example of someone whose spouse is, hanging out or talking to the majority of his single friends. That was me. I was, not the example, but I'm giving my example. I hung up with my single friends and really didn't spend time at home, and that the communication really stopped down. And that kind of not just carried over from there, but it carried over from when we left DC to Philadelphia. Within our relationship, I just left a pretty prominent area where I had some stature and I was building on that to come to an area where I'm like, what is this? what am I supposed to do with this? And Shay left, her corporate by the book job.
Cushy comfort.
To come into a new area where she had to learn a whole new industry almost. And a
new way to do everything. And a new way to do everything. Busy all the time.
Right. And, especially because she was in retail communications, a lot of her retail communications went out around this time of year, going into the new year. So it was really tough on me and tough on her. So we started really talking. I would come home, I would come right downstairs and sit there, or I wouldn't even talk to, Shay or London at all. And, that was the disillusionment of our marriage. It was rough. We went through a lot of stuff between 2014.
Should we start from the beginning? 2013.
No. 13 wasn't all that bad because we got married in 13.
Yeah. But it was still tough.
No.
Because when we were first getting married, be honest, when we were first getting married, it was the first time we lived together.
Well, yeah.
And so that is always a difficult stage when people move in for the first time because you have to get used to someone's habits.
Correct.
And everyone thinks that their habits are the best.
Right.
And so you have to come to some sort of agreement. And in the process of that, I was also pregnant. So I've got hormones going everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then it's my first time being pregnant. So a lot of it is I don't even know or how to address it. I don't even know.
We were in our 20s.
Yeah.
Our mid-20s.
And I'm meeting your family for
I'm meeting
your
hers.
immediate family.
Right.
I met your other family.
She's meeting my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my sister. I'm meeting her immediate family. So it was a lot out then. But even then, up until and what made that situation a little different was because we knew we were getting married. We went through premarital counseling and we worked out that. But then after 13, literally, I would say
January was the beginning of it.
January of 2014.
Yeah. Because you left New Year's. Remember you left the party.
Was it 14?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, I remember.
No, because we got married in 13. We got married in 13. We were living in Woodbridge. We had just moved.
It must have been 15 then.
It was going into 15 because we had moved here. So January. No, we were still good up until.
No, because remember
14.
When London was
14. What happened in 14?
We went to Dante and Mel's.
I got the promotion.
New Year's party.
That was 14 into 15.
Okay.
So I would say up until, you know what it was? It was up until May of 14 because I had gotten the promotion that I wanted verbally, but never got the offer letter. And then it just went downhill from there. Because then I got that new position. I was like, okay, I got a couple dollars. I'm good. And then I think that you wanted more. And then being real, you were actually pregnant again. And you had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of put some distance between us because of the stress.
Absolutely.
That we were going through. And then we had financial woes. All of 14. all of 14.
Man.
All of 14. And I mean, we're looking back on it now because again, we're 5 years in. But all of 14 was like a lot of financial woes between taking London to daycare, than me working and
that's what I'm saying, y'all. Listen,
it was like that.
Won't spend no money on gas and trains to get to work because that's where 90% of our money went to.
And so 14.
Like when you look at it, you're like, dang, it cost me this much just to get to work.
Right.
Like that's a huge chunk.
That was
transportation.
And we only had one car.
Yeah.
We went down to one car.
We did.
We went down to one car and it was still a lot. Then we moved into DC. And DC was, I think, actually we were going into we went into our first 1 year when we moved into DC because that was August. And we were having it then too.
Yep.
And then 14 into 15, I was like at a whole other different level. And even then, it was weird for us.
Definitely 15 into 16.
15 into 16. 15 into 16. I kind of weaned out right when you told me you were pregnant again.
Yeah. I think that was the turning point. Christian.
Christian was the turning point, especially when it came out it was going to be a boy. I said, oh, damn.
Well, I think part of that was, so we had gone through so much that, it was, and I think not only that, but the pregnancy was hard. Because it was...
London or Christian?
Christian. Remember, it was like, he was so low.
Yeah.
And it took a lot out of me. And so I think you actually physically saw me breaking down.
Yeah. And I kind of like this. I kind of started stepping up a lot more, especially.
Yeah, definitely. You would ask me all the time, like, "What do you need me to do?
Right.
What can I do to help?"
And then it kind of started really changing when I got the transfer from working all the way up northeast Philadelphia to actually working downtown Center City, and I was able to be a little bit more accessible to you and to doing things and getting things home.
Definitely.
So that.
And then I think when you were home all summer with the baby and me, that really opened your eyes. Because I think you realized how much work it was.
Yeah.
And it was just us, after mom left, it was just us.
Right.
Because you had gone on paternity leave. And then you didn't start with your last place.
Right. The week after I came back.
So we've been through a lot, y'all. Sorry
right. I mean, because
we were working on the timeline.
Right. We really get a chance to truly celebrate because with Christian going down to half days, Christian was here on Friday on our anniversary, but he was asleep. Then I had to go get London, and then she had to come home. And then Saturday, what did we do Saturday? What was Saturday?
We didn't do much. We just been really.
What was Saturday? What did we do Saturday?
I don't know. We just been really chilling lately.
What was Saturday? Oh, Saturday was... Oh my gosh.
It was yesterday, babe. We didn't do anything.
We didn't do anything we didn't do anything. You know what it was Saturday? You slept.
I did.
You rested.
I did.
You had some rest. You rested. The kids rested.
I tried to rest.
Right.
I should say.
Tried to rest. But, there was that. And today, we're recording this on Sunday, the 23rd. And
it was movie day.
It was movie day.
It was raining outside.
It was raining.
It's the perfect day to just stay inside.
We did bedside Baptist. Shout out to the family church where you belong. That's our family church right there. But we got a chance to really just and tomorrow we're actually going to really spend time together. Reflecting. Yeah. But this moment that we're talking now, we're actually reflecting on that disillusionment because that disillusionment phase for us was huge because that was majority of our marriage in the first 5 years.
You know what's funny? Somebody told me, I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me it was like it takes about 5 years to figure it all out.
Yeah.
And once you hit year 5, it's like all the gloves come off, everything, you just bare soul in front of that person. You strip down kind of to where you are. You've gone through at least some sort of financial. You've gone through some sort of emotional, physical, whatever.
Spiritual, yeah.
And, you've got battle scars.
Yeah.
And so now the decision is, do you keep going?
Right.
Or do you give up?
Right.
And so the next stage... Stage 4 is creating real, lasting love.
There it is. And I would say that in these 120 days that we've been unemployed, we've created that.
Definitely.
Because,
so one of the gifts of confronting the unhappiness in stage 3 is to get to the core of what causes the pain and conflict. And I think that's the key. You have to be willing to have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
And Will and I started it way before. You know, we probably started at the beginning of year 4. Because I think at year 4, we realized, number one, we're in this house together. We were having Christian then. And so that was the reality that our lives, we could either end it now or choose, both of us would choose equally to walk together, go forward.
And even then, it was still, for me, like, I gotta do what? I gotta try to do something.
And a part of that is also you got to go back and heal those old wounds.
Yeah. And
you got to go way back.
Well, going into 5, and these 120 days, I've been out, and we've actually been having conversations. We talk more. We do things more. I've had to fight my own demons and actually spend the time fighting it.
And that's real.
And that's real. Like, you know, I'm not going to get into detail what my demons were. They're very personal to me. But those demons have no power over me no more.
But you had help too. You know,
I was doing peace out. I was talking to you. You know, attending church.
It's
more.
not just
not necessarily church you need it, but it's
sitting
it's
by
the
yourself
word
doing it. But you had a team of people who were praying for you, with you, encouraging you. You know, and you were able to help other people too.
Right. No, it was. And I encourage fellas, if you're battling something, like, you know, especially if you're in a committed relationship, to really focus with your spouse, your significant other, to really talk it out and really work through it. You don't have to get into full detail, but sometimes, you know, you need other individuals who are like-minded as you, who want the best for you, to push you through that fight. And I had that, and that's what helped out within this, because it was draining on me, and I finally started to see that I don't need that in my life. I don't need this in my life. I don't need this in my life. I can put this away. This is the old me. This is the new me now. And, you know, I know who I want to build this all with. And I sit back and I look at Shay. I'm like, damn, that's my wife there. This is who I want to build it with. This is who God has given me. Like, I thank God every day for that phone call He told me to make on on the first day of Lent, 2012, to say, go get her because she's leaving. And I didn't realize it until, you know, just a couple of days before our anniversary, that, this is it. No more. You gotta move forward. Can't look back. Gotta keep moving forward.
And that's true about, like, I think it's a part of this whole process is going back and, like you said, you working out what you're afraid of. So we talked a lot about our insecurities. You know, I talked about being afraid of my business and the things that scared me about success. And you shared the things that you were scared about success too. And I think that's real. You know, not everybody's built for this entrepreneurship lifestyle, but it takes one to push each other in the right way. You know, I push Will to make sure he completes the things that he needs to do. But we sit down and talk about things like, is it a smart business move to do this? How should you look at different angles if you're approached by an investor, if you're approached by somebody who wants to work with you? You know, you don't always take the first offer that comes on the table.
Right.
But you want to do what's in the best interest of yourself, your business, and your family, because you've got to protect your own intellectual property. And so as much as I'm Will's business partner, he's my business partner. And I've learned how to take his criticism. But I've also learned to step out on my own faith and to be comfortable doing things that I don't like doing, like picking up the phone and actually cold calling somebody.
And I taught you how to become more efficient with your business.
Definitely. And talking about closing the sale.
And don't forget to put them on retainer.
Yes, and retainers. Like things that I, you know, that I knew about, but I didn't consider it. Just how to be a better businesswoman for myself. I love that about Will, is that he's always looking out for me too.
Of course.
And so, a part of this journey is identifying those things, just talking about whether or not we're offended with each other. It's something that happened, being open and honest. And that's why I said a lot of this is walking in your truth, because at stage 4, you just can't hold back. You can't be afraid to say to your partner, to your spouse, to your loved one, what you said offended me. What you said hurt my feelings.
And shouts out to Pastor Ted and Pastor Dawn for having a series right now on the Family Church. You can listen to on their podcast. Offense. Did you take it?
Did you take it?
Did you take it?
Because a lot of times you do get offended.
Right.
You do get upset. You do. Like Will and I had a breakdown. I was like, Will, what was you really mad about? And he was like, 2K done messed up my thing.
I wasn't pissed about that. I was like,
that's really why
that
he
really,
was
that
mad
really messed
yesterday.
up my Saturday. I was like, yo, that's not even my fake. Where my ooh. So I was
and so everything that we did yesterday bothered him, but it really was a symptom of the real situation, which was he was frustrated at 2K.
Because it was Shay said to me Friday night, let's just have a sit-in Saturday where we're not doing nothing. I said, bet. And I was ready.
AKA, that means
I can play.
Sleep.
I can play.
I'm going to go play 2K
and chill.
And the kids better be asleep too.
The kids better sit, chill, do whatever you need to do. Man,
I made pancakes,
bacon. And I was like, yes, we're about to have a chill day. Oh, chill day. And I was like, what the 2K?
What happened to my face?
What happened to my what's this? What is this? So
ladies, you got to be able to, break down the process and not be afraid. When I talked to Will about it, I came at it jokingly and I was like, you was on your man period. You know that, right? Because he did. He had a moment, but I had to realize that, it wasn't directed at me, but, external forces affect your relationship. So you got to, this is leading into our second conversation. But I did want to finish up number 5.
Number 5, which brings us to using the power of 2 to change the world. And 2, you and them, me and her, us,
we, ours. So number 5, I think the best way to sum this up is, this is your time when it's you against everybody else. You're stronger together. There's nothing that can break your relationship.
We're stronger together than we are apart.
Absolutely. You've overcome your differences. You found real lasting love, and you work together to continue to have real lasting love, and you put out love in the world. So now is your stage where Will and I are at, where we're putting love out into the atmosphere. We're embracing each other's flaws. We see each other for who we are, but we're also changing with each other.
Correct. And, if through this podcast, which, again, we fell back really because we didn't have the right energy to come talk to you guys. And Shay kept saying, let's go talk. I said, Shay, we're not right. We're not right. We were, I'm not saying that we weren't right within ourselves. I'm not gonna say we're not right for y'all. We weren't right within ourselves to come talk to y'all. For real.
Speak for yourself. I was ready.
Oh, okay. I thought we were. I thought it was us, but maybe it was me. I didn't feel right within myself to come talk to y'all. I mean, granted, we have people on, which is great because, I can kind of just tag team in. But when it's just Shay and I, this is really intimate. This is, our time to really speak with each other, speak with y'all, and have these conversations. And for us to do it together, to put this energy out, it means a lot for me because I am all about this energy that we want to make sure that we're giving.
Energy is important, period.
As a positive couple, not just black couple, a positive couple, because you could be black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. If you're listening under the sound of our voices, you want that same energy on you. And maybe Shay said she's ready, but she could just be saying that. I'm not saying she is, but she could just be saying that. But I know for myself, I wasn't ready to come talk to y'all. And
about what?
I mean, just about anything.
I was.
I wasn't. I didn't have.
I'm always ready to put it down.
I didn't have the energy to do it for another week or another week or another week. Sometimes I think like this break that we took between Labor Day to today, this episode was needed because now we just gave a full recap of what we missed out on.
Your thing is you gotta have something to talk about. And
that too.
I could talk about pop culture, social media.
But the thing is, we're two cool parents, so we talk about the kids and we talk about our marriage. Not our marriage, but how it affect you and your marriage and going forward.
Absolutely.
And it's just somebody talk. We can talk for days about Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, Red Grant.
We ain't even going to go into that today.
We can talk about the fact of how comedians aren't funny as they used to be back in the day.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the...
But the thing is, besides the point...
But to bring that into full circle, I think is important because one of the things that we talked about is humor. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. You got to be able to laugh at your situations, and that helps you deal with...
I mean, but that's the... Some of the... Again, I just couldn't sit back here and just talk about pop culture. I know in the beginning part of it, we partly did, especially around the whole iPod and Apple thing. But, I'm glad that we actually had some substance to come and talk about.
Of course.
Which was, we're celebrating 5 years together. 5 years, that's 5 years together. 5 years in marriage. Like I said, we've been through battles. We've been through battles. The war's not over. But we've been through battles where we are on the same we're on the same side, but sometimes as generals on the same team, you have an ulterior motive. And we could have sabotaged the entire thing on both our ends.
There you go.
But we came back together.
Absolutely.
And that's another part, and I always say this is Shay. Shay actually got mad at me one time for saying that marriage is like this, but it's the truth. All relationships, marriage is like this. It's a business deal. For real.
I don't get mad about the business deal part. Because it is very transactional.
I'm not saying it is transactional, but it is a business deal. Think about it.
It's a give and take.
You are company A merging with Limited Holdings B or whatever. And, you want to make sure that the deal's great. You want to make sure that, you're not firing off your whole entire team, which what I mean by team is, you want to make sure that whatever you're able to still kind of do to bring you happiness, you're able to do without having to sacrifice too much, but still sacrificing enough to make sure that this partnership works, that this togetherness works, so that you guys can be able to multiply and enlarge your territory, which is, acquiring, property, building assets. That's what companies do. They acquire property, they build assets for a rainy day. They do all these great things as a company, to do this, and then they solidify themselves as being a true conglomerate.
Actually, but you also have to outbeat your competition. You have to.
Well, it depends on who you marry.
Stay ahead of your, chase your customers down. You have to still, the day-to-day operations of your company.
Right. And that's the part. That's the part a lot of us forget about is the day-to-day operations, which again, I said in the beginning part, you have to fight every day.
That's why I always tell people, if you don't have team meetings, you need to.
Right.
If you don't have household meetings where you're talking about things, if you're not talking about...
We talk before we talk on this podcast, guys. We talk
we talk all the time.
We talk all the time.
And it's not just the heavy stuff. It's everything. Will's the first person I go to now. Not the second or the third. He's the first person.
Mm-hmm. So is Shay.
And a lot of times, ladies, what we do. We talk to our friends. We get people's opinions.
Who may be single while you're in a relationship or married.
We go to, outside counsel first instead of coming home.
Right. If you need to go to your spouse, your partner first.
And that's hard because a lot of times when situations happen, if it's during business hours or you and your spouse are on different schedules, it's hard to establish that time to talk. Will and I right now, we have the luxury of time.
Right.
But even then, when the day is done, we still get into bed. We still have a conversation. Mm-hmm. How was your day? Did you do okay?
Not even that's how was your day. Sometimes So you say it doesn't get deep, but when we have those deep conversations, it does happen prior to bed, going to bed, in the morning when we wake up from bed. So it kind of just flows over. But again, we have those conversations, or even if it's the afternoon drive home when we were working.
Absolutely.
You know, hey, let's talk.
And I would have to tell my mama, I got to call you back because I need to talk to Will. And it's important that you do that, ladies, because as much as you love outside counsel, as much as you love, you know, chatting it up with your girlfriends or your mom or whoever your touch base is, to me, it's so important that you let your husband be the first voice you hear. And the reason why is it establishes mutual trust between the two of you.
Right.
And he gets to feel like he is solving a problem.
Oh yeah, that's as men, we love to solve a problem.
Exactly.
But it's like a puzzle.
That's all he wants to do is, how can I fix whatever is wrong?
Right.
The more you give him to fix, the better it is.
Right.
So you, even if it's not like a real problem,
especially if you have a type of, you know, husband that does that, you know, you're able to really talk to him, and he's open as like, you know, let's talk it out, let's figure this out. Not the what.
And a lot of people will challenge us and say, well, when's a good time to talk about it?
Oh, that's wild.
And I can say,
they do that at your job.
It's hard to talk about it when he's playing a video game. It's hard to talk about it when you got kids that you got to put to bed.
Right. Fellas, it's some real talk. Like, y'all gonna think I'm soft for this, but I'm not. This is real. I asked Shay if it's okay for me to go downstairs to go play the game. You know, back when we were working like heavy. Sometimes you would just be like, all right, I'm going down. Well, yeah, that's when I decided to make my exit. Because the thing is, I always said myself, I'm going to give an hour and a half to 2 hours when I get home of stuff. So by the time I got home, so listen, by the time I got home, it was like 5:45. So
Will gave us family time.
Family time, which is an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I'm like, all right, cool. They need to go to bed. Let's put them to bed. And by the time they're in bed, I'm like, cool. Anything you need to talk about? No, I'm all right. You sure? Are you positive? That's the third time. If he says no, all right, I'm out.
And he does.
Or I'm like, babe, you straight? Can I go? All right, talk to you.
Yeah. Because after Will eats, that's his decompression time.
After I eat, don't touch me. I don't want to. Like, oh, let's
that's
cuddle.
Usually
like, no,
when I want to come downstairs.
For real, fellas. Am I the only one that doesn't like to be touched after we eat? I'm like, don't touch me. I
want to snuggle and do all kinds of stuff with him after then. That's the first time I have seen him.
I'm like, I just ate.
And it's just the two of us.
You shouldn't have fed me.
But then you're staring at me down like, where's the food? Where's the food?
That's labeled, and then to say that's the gender role in the house. Trust me, I've been cooking a lot more since I've been home. It's just the fact that Shay got home before me when we were working.
This would be hilarious. Like, I know when it's taking too long when Will would be upstairs and he's like hovering, like. So, is it ready?
I opened the refrigerator like 4 or 5 times to see if there's anything else to snack on.
Snack.
Like, got fruit in here? Something? Can a brother snack on something in the meantime? It's like all hearts and minds are prepared. Let's go eat. I'm like, yes, finally.
Dinner's ready.
Food. So, yes.
And then some days I had to be like, babe, dinner's ready.
Speaking of, for anyone who has seen the videos or anything or heard any updates, Christian no longer calls Shay babe. He actually calls her mommy now.
He does. He finally said it.
He's like, mommy. But he's been saying daddy forever, so that's what I'm talking about. Hey, little man.
I missed babe, though. I missed him calling me babe because it was cute. It was babe.
Daddy.
It was either bae or babe. I'm not sure.
One of the two. And he got that from me because I was trying to babe. What's going on? So yeah, that was that. But again, 5 stages of love, and we will post the website on our feed and stuff like that, so you guys can take a look at it. And please, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Let us know. Reach out to Shay. Shay's really thinking about stepping into a counseling type role for her. For relationships and stuff like that. Which, if you
send us in a TCP letter,
you've heard her. You've heard her. Now come to her and talk to her about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate the plug. And it is important. I do believe in counseling. I do believe in therapy, journaling, just kind of getting yourself together. So I am stepping into new territory, trying to take counseling classes as I can to better understand and better prepare and better acclimate myself for a possible new career change as a life coach or some sort of relationship coach, so I can help couples. One of the things I'm very passionate about is the longevity of marriage and just making sure that people communicate. I can't say it enough.
Communication.
You have to talk, and not just talking, but you have to have substance behind your talk. So ladies, you got to get out your bag. You got to get out of your feelings. You got to put it aside, and you really have to sit down and meet him halfway. Sometimes you got to go 80 because he's only going to give you 20. Some days you got to go 90. But then, ladies, when he's ready to come 90, you got to be willing to come 10.
But don't nag, though. Please, nagging is the worst.
I still nag him.
Oh, my gosh. When y'all nag,
I guilt trip him.
I'm like, yo, you got
the kids.
No, that's not it. It's something that is when I tell Shay when she's nagging. I'm like, yo, you nagging. You need to chill. Relax. I'll be there when I get there.
And I know what I'm doing.
She knows what she's doing. And y'all do that to rile us up, and y'all be mad. He's like, he done done so bad to me. I don't know why. I'm like, because you nagging him.
When
Stop
you
nagging.
Start using things like, well, you always. You don't do. Yeah.
Chill. But yes, that was five love stages. We talked about the 5 love languages in the beginning of our podcast way back. So go back into the crates if you need to go listen to that. But we just talked about the 5 love stages, and we will continue to talk about the 5 love stages going forward. And of course the 5 love languages, but the 5 love stages people really need to talk about. So
what was that again? The 5 love stage.
5 stages of love. 5 love stages. 5 stages of love. Okay, got it. Men Alive. menalive.com. There you go. I think that's about it. Did you want to talk about D&B or no?
Well, we did. I did want to touch on it. So Will and I.
Or do you just want to cap it off with that? Mic drop on the relationship piece, so we can come back with D&B later.
I'm gonna end it with D&B because that was our relationship building activity.
Yeah, that was our relationship. That was our wedding anniversary trip dinner thing.
It was.
So we did dinner en blanc or dîner
en blanc.
Dîner en blanc in New York City. Yeah.
So this was our first dinner en blanc. Okay, first of all, for those who don't know, dinner en blanc is a invitation only picnic style dinner where you, by invitation only, must bring all of your items for dinner at a secret location, and you must wear all white. This year we signed up for New York. New York was we did Philly. We did Philly. You heard about Philly two episodes ago, but this time was New York. It was on a Monday, and it was also the Monday that apparently New York had a outer band of Tropical Storm Florence.
Yes.
So it was rain.
Black
people, rain, white.
It was
a park.
It was a mixture.
A boat.
So yes,
it was a dope concept. The event dope concept.
The event took place on Governor's Island in New York City. So
I just want to say this though. This is why Will married me. Seriously. As we're driving up, I'm on here researching parking. I don't know why, but I'm like, you know what? I need to pay for this parking now. I pay for parking in advance. Why? Because when we pull up to the garage and 5,500 other people are looking for parking, guess who already has a guaranteed parking spot?
We did. Ding, ding, ding. The dude was like, "Oh, we're closed." I said, "Nah, bro, we paid in advance." He's like, "Oh, okay, you go ahead.
Come on in.
Take it."
And so our parking situation was covered because we literally slid in at the last second
and got changed in the parking lot.
We just didn't care. Will was putting on pants, I was putting on a jumpsuit, and we was rolling out.
Yep. So we got, so I mean, we made it there in time.
Literally just skirted through. My umbrella blew out. It was terrible. They won't let me refund it. I'm so upset, but I'm going to leave a scathing review.
Yeah, 1 star. We leave 1 stars, baby.
It was terrible. My little plastic.
If you mind me asking, how much was the umbrella?
It was only $14.
Okay.
But I spent $16 on the Target one, which was
better.
Much better.
At $2.
And so it's a process. So just so anybody who doesn't know, usually there's a lot of walking involved. You have to carry everything.
But hold on, we didn't have to walk that far because our group leader, shouts out to Bay. That's my homie from high
Bay.
school. That's my girl.
My new BFF.
Bay, she was the group leader. She got us down. We were
in the first group.
We met at the Staten Island ferry. Hopped onto the Governor's Island ferry. Boom, we was there. We were on the island by like 5:30.
The first group on the island.
Mind you, they said y'all can't bring no liquor, no nothing. I snuck in a nice bottle of my thing in there.
I'm glad Will did because he would have been mad.
I've been upset because I'm like, yo, I can't do this. Like, I'm not saying I'm not that type of person where like I have to drink at everything, but it's a social event. I'm like, I don't drink unless I'm having a social event. So I'm going to have me some drink in this event.
Well, the thing is also, like, Will doesn't drink wine like I do. So the wine that we ordered is not Will's favorite wine.
No, it was very dry. It was a Riesling.
It was a dry Riesling.
Very dry. Dry.
It was good. It was delicious.
Fake. Yeah, it was tongue smacking dry. But we get there, we set up. Mind you, we have on all white. We're on the grassy knoll.
It was
at Governor's Island, setting up. We're the first ones there, and we can't eat until everyone gets there. I'm like, oh my gosh, why we can't eat? I'm hungry because I haven't eaten all day, and I drove 2 hours. Well, really like an hour 20 minutes because I'm doing like 85 all the way up the turnpike. But still, I'm hungry, and I just changed and I ran here. And mind you, I'm getting my back of my pants soaked in the mud,
yes.
in the moist dew of the grass.
Moist dew. There's bees
flying all over. I got my little bugs.
We're not making this exciting for anybody.
I was at first. I mean, here's the thing. I understand. And I like going to DMB. DMB is great because you get to actually talk to other people. Like, we were set to our left and our rights of people who live in the city who don't have kids. And I'm sitting there talking about, I gotta take a nap after this. And they're like, what, a nap? What are you talking about? I'm like, yes, I gotta take a nap. I'm tired. I just did this. I got kids. I do this whole thing. But to me, I mean, it's a great event. You get to socialize with different folks. There was a gentleman who proposed to his fiance, his now new fiance there. It was great. It was a great event.
It's a lot of great energy.
A lot of great energy.
See a lot of creativity. This was the first time we really saw like a blending of cultures. There was so
many different languages, people. It was love. It was like you won't care who
all
they
dressed in white.
All dressed in white, off-white cream. Doesn't matter if you couldn't get it in the meantime. We wore white after Labor Day. It was cool. It was great. I enjoyed it.
So how would you compare New York and Philly?
I think New York. Well, I think Philly's been doing it for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
the same amount of time.
And it's, to me, Philly this year wasn't as what I thought it would be, because like I think we said on the podcast before, it was two different sides.
It was something about the art museum that was so elegant, that was so spectacular.
Because it was the ambiance of the art museum. You have this Romanesque architecture in the background. You have these astonishing stairs that you can look up and see people still sitting across the stairs, across the main courtyard of the art museum and down. You have the city background and the lights behind you. That was great. A perfect view of the Parkway to Center City. Cool. Granted, yes, it shut down the Parkway. Traffic got a little messed up, but I understand. Guess what? It is what it is. The second year for when we were going to do it when you were pregnant, was Franklin Park. I didn't really hear like a lot of
people just said it was the spray that.
The spray?
Yeah.
What spray?
from the fountain.
Because it was windy that day, wasn't it? So yeah, people were getting wet and stuff like that. So I can understand that. But then this recently, it was Dilworth Park and the admin building where the Frank Rizzo statue is. Frank Rizzo was the former mayor of Philadelphia. There's a long story about that with black folks. So trust me, if you want to look it up, just look it up. But I just think it was just too much energy back and forth, like, you know, people crossing from here to there and back and forth and so on and so forth. But
and we were on an outer flank, so it's harder, even though we were closer to the music.
Right.
I think it was just a very interesting setup. I think it was a little bit rushed for us, because we had coming in towards the tail end versus this time when in New York we were the very first.
Very first. And New York was cool. Like, I mean, I like the concept of going to Governor's Island. If you're not familiar with Governor's Island, it's one of the largest green open spaces besides Central Park in New York where they can actually shut down and control it right there.
And it was beautiful. They had, you know, big balloons. They had a big stage set up. Photo booths were everywhere, so you could take, you know, Instagrammable pictures. There was plenty of atmosphere, you know, and the boat ride was beautiful. I loved it.
The beginning part of the boat ride, and then, you know, I guess
even when we left.
Well, even when we left, you know, I think it was just what happened was, like, we got there, like I said, 5:30. The last people didn't set up until almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I mean, shout out to D&B from New York for elongating the night for those who showed up late. Like, look, if you didn't get here in time, we can't hold you. We're not going to end this in 2 hours. You just sat down.
So what happened was the water got choppy on the Hudson, and so that's the Hudson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the water got choppy.
No, it's the East River.
It's the East River, and the boat operators do not.
No, it wasn't. We didn't go. I can't remember. I can look it up. Give me a second. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Anyway, whatever waterway we crossed over, the boat operators make the final decision as to when they should operate. And so they shut down for a period of time to allow the choppiness of the water to dissipate a bit. What that ended up happening was they had to then move large groups to a different set of ferries. And so a lot of people showed up late. But still, we had a great time. It was a wonderful event. I encourage you, if you know somebody, definitely try to go. A couple people have reached out to me. They want to be sponsors. I'm now a New York sponsor. And I would love to sponsor you. The key is you have to dress in all white. You have to bring your own stuff. You have to bring your own stuff.
It was the East River.
It is the East River. Okay. And so, you know, with doing it, there's lessons that you learn each and every time. We saw a lot of people who had push carts, and push carts were failing.
Time out. I just want to say I was smart this year for this one because
it was heavy though.
So only thing that's heavy because Shay had packed this large stone tablet in there.
My God, it wasn't that heavy. The stone tablet did not make it extra heavy.
Well,
it was all the stuff that was.
It was all the stuff. So I had the picnic basket. And we got these white chairs from IKEA that were very light, and I had the table and the Coleman table that everyone's quote unquote supposed to use in a little roll up thing, and I put it on my back. Cool, boom. We traveled pretty light. I saw people who had the wheel, the dollies and everything, and their dollies kept tipping over because they had to go across these cobblestone sidewalks when they got to the island, and it was just
very uneven,
and you're and then you had to get it up on the grass to take it to your spot. So I think something said, "Well, don't bring that," and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna bring it, and I'm glad I didn't bring it. But yeah, lessons
learned at each one. So we decided going forward, we would do another dinner en blanc in another city because the opportunity is to see how other cities do it.
Correct. So now we're going to do, hopefully, you know, Lord willing, you know,
yes, finances plausible.
Finances. Especially with the light of our situation, we want to do a dinner en blanc in one East Coast, one West Coast. So we're going to try to hit up all the East Coast cities. So we already did New York. We done Philly. We're going to do DC. We're going to do Richmond. We're going to do Miami. We're going to do all that. Then we're going to do, you know, one in the West Coast. So it would be LA, San Fran, you know, Vancouver, Seattle.
Portland didn't have theirs this year.
You know, we're going to try to see about that. We actually we're going to try to do, and we kind of brought it up episodes ago. We were going to try to attempt the dinner en blanc Havana.
That was our secret.
That was our secret
location that we were going to do, and that is Will's birthday weekend.
Yes.
So it's actually the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Correct.
And so, if our finances, if anybody wants to donate, to the Will and Shay Goes to Dinner on Blanc Havana fund, it'll be $1,200. And so if you want to make that generous $600 donation for flights and $600 donation for, hotels, we would love to. We would appreciate your support, your business, and we will take 1 million pictures and thank you. We will Skype you in so you can feel like you're right there.
Matter of fact, what we'll do is, we'll try to set this up as a nonprofit. So if you give the $1,200, it's a tax write-off.
It is. And you can pay in installments too.
There you go. You have, we can do four payments of $300.
We have no shame in our game, guys. We are at that point.
Or 3 payments of $400. Or you can pay a full lump sum. Or you can do 2 payments of $600.
Yeah.
You take cash, check, or credit card.
And Will now has 180 days of free credit card processing. So I love Will.
This is how we joke. This is how we keep it fun.
But we low key serious. So if you need my Snapchat, it's $ Ivy Rose, IVEYROSE.
I was joking, but Shay's really serious.
I'm just saying, people put their Snapchats on everything now.
You mean their Cash App?
Cash App, Snapchat, GoFundMe. People do it for everything now.
If you have my number, you can Apple Pay me.
Oh, I forgot about Apple Pay, even though I use it pretty regularly.
But yeah, so again, Dinner on Blanc.
You can sell it.
Venmo.
PayPal. What else is there? There's a whole bunch of things out there.
We even take Bitcoin.
Oh no, we do not take Bitcoin.
I can convert that. But no, again, we enjoyed DMB. I think, to me, Philly has a lot of soul in their DMB, because especially when it came to the music.
The music was better.
The music was better in Philly, and I think.
But it was like house music.
Yeah, we partied, and I think New York had a great cultural element to it, and you got to see. I'm glad I got to see that. And will I do DMB New York again? Yeah, I do 1 more year DMB New York. I think I'm done doing DMB Philly for now.
Okay. Maybe for the 10-year anniversary we'll come back, because this was their 7th year.
Oh yeah, I like to do different cities 1 a year.
Yeah.
Or 2 a year.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
I definitely want to do one on the West Coast.
Definitely do one on the West Coast, and then if we can't do one West Coast,
better weather.
If we can't do one West Coast, one East Coast, then I would like to do one in Europe.
Okay.
So that's my thing. So
guys?
So let's see here. What else have we? We talked about school. We talked about Apple. We talked about our 5-year anniversary and what you need to do, and we ended it off. And we could have ended it off right there, but we just wanted to give you guys a little peek into what we did for our anniversary, which was our Dinner on Blanc experience, which again was great. But again, So we're about to sign off. This was fun. I'm glad we came back.
Yeah.
So
we hope you missed us.
And we're going to continue.
Please go to our website, guys. www.2coolparents. That's the number 2coolparents.com.
COOL Parents.
That's right. Check us out. We've got a host of information on blogging on there.
You know what? We should do Too Cool with the K too. That's for all the bloods out there.
Anyway, we've got tons of information on the website. We're still working on merchandise. We'd love to partner with any of our, folks who want to be full-time subscribers, or if you want to be a sponsor, we'd love to have you. Reach out to us if you have a TCP. Yep. Too Cool Parents. If you have a letter that you would like to write us so we can share it on the air.
If you have any questions about anything, please do.
Any topics. Again, like, subscribe, rate, share.
And again, this will all change once we officially go video. I actually found a new camera that will allow us to do that. I just gotta,
He's waiting so patiently for his iPhone X.
Not just no. I'm talking about the Mevo thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look it up, Mevo. If you want to sponsor us for the Mevo, please do, because it means we can actually do live recordings on video.
That's true. And post simultaneously.
Simultaneously to YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, all that stuff. There's so much technology coming out now that where you can actually be your own entrepreneur and do it, and we can share that again on another podcast. But again, we're signing off. I'm not going to keep you guys any much longer. Again,
yes.
So please
thank
follow
you to
us.
our listeners.
Thank you to our listeners. Thank you for being patient with us. Thank you for listening to us. Again, we are sorry for taking time out, but again, I felt like the energy wasn't there for me. Shay said she was there, but I wasn't there for myself. So I do apologize for being I apologize for being selfish, but again, I was battling my own demons and taking care of that. But again, check us out.
Are we going back to recording weekly?
We're going back to recording weekly. So we're going to get back to doing that. So please check us out. Subscribe, rate, listen, and review.
And share.
Tell a friend take this podcast, give it to 2 people, and say, hey, let me know what you think, and give it to 2 more people.
Yep.
And 2 more people. Let's build this. You know, we're all cool but corny. So let's have some fun being cool but corny. So again,
this podcast is for the cool but corny in all of us.
That's right. So check us out on our website again. That's www.2coolparents.com. Our social media, Instagram, which is 2 Cool Parents Podcast.
On IG,
2 Cool Parents Facebook page, at 2 Cool Parents on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it. And we're going to post the Men Alive page on our feed, so you guys can take a look at that. And we'll probably do some kind of cool marketing thing, not marketing, some picture thing on Instagram, so you guys can take a read of that and listen to the page and all that jazz. So blah 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 blah. You know what I said right there.
He's rambling, so it's time for us to sign off. We love you. Thank you.
Peace.
Next week.
Bye.